Okay, so today we're going to talk about standard form of the equation of a line. So up until this point, we have looked at all of our lines in the form of y equals mx plus b, which is slope-intercept form. Okay. Now, we are going to look at the standard form of an equation, and standard form is in the form of ax plus by equals c. Now, notice that a, b, and c are all in capital letters. There's a reason for that, okay? Are all of our coefficients, the a and the b, and the constant, which is going to be your c. Let me just move this down a little bit. Must be integers. Okay, so now there's a reason why we go through and talk about integers and all of our different rational number systems, all the different types of numbers in the rational number system. Integers are the set of whole numbers and their opposites. So integers, the set of whole numbers and their opposites. Okay, integers, set of whole numbers and their opposites. So you must have integers for your coefficients and your constants. So what we're going to look at first is how to use this. First, like what it looks like and how to use it. So let's say we have an equation that is 4x minus 9y equals negative 12. Now, we know that we can convert this into our slope-intercept form, but we can also work from it to graph right from this form of the equation. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at finding our x-intercept and our y-intercept. And then I'll show you, how we're going to graph that using those. So in order to find where x crosses the x-axis, at the point where the line crosses the x-axis, y is 0, okay? So if we make this term a 0, then what I have is 4x equal to negative 12. And if I just solve for that, x is equal to negative 3. So my x-intercept is actually, and I'm just going to put it just underneath here, right to the right here, my coordinates are negative 3 and 0 because that's where it crosses the line when y equals 0. Now, to find my y-intercept, I do the same thing. I just say, okay, x has to be 0 when my line crosses y because I'm not varying from that line. So I'm going to set this to 0, and I'm going to say negative 9y is equal to negative 12 dividing by negative 9, and I get y equal to, and negative divided by a negative is positive, and here I'm just going to have to simplify this, both of them divisible by 3, so this becomes 4 over 3. So y is equal to 4 over 3, or 1 1/3. In the case of crossing a line, it might be easier to have it in a mixed number. So my coordinates here, x is 0 because I'm at my y-intercept, and 1 1/3, or 4/3, whichever works best for you. Okay, so this is how we solve when something is in standard form. It's the easiest way to go. And let me show you what happens when we graph it. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to graph this. Put it off to the side so we can add all of our information. Here's my coordinate plane. Now, if you remember, my I had the 2 points. I had my my x-intercept was -3, 0, and my y-intercept was 0 and 1 1/3, or 4/3. Okay, so I'm just going to come over here and say, okay, -3, 1, 2, 3, -3 and 0. That's my x-intercept, and my y is 0, 1 1/3. So it's going to be about here, and then I will take my ruler, always with my ruler, and I'll make a lovely line, and that would be the graph of what we started with, which was 4x minus 9y equals -12. Okay? So we can do this again with another problem where we have 5x plus 2y equals -10. Okay, again, I'm going to set y to 0, so I'll have 5x equals -10, dividing by the 5, and x is equal to -2, so my point here is -2, 0. And then I'm going to have 2y equals -10, dividing both sides by 2, and y is equal to -5. So my point here is 0, -5. Oh, you can't see any of that. Oh my gosh, and it was so good. There it is. There's all of the stuff that I did. Here's my 5x equals -10. Here's my 2y equals -10. Here's my points that I came up with that. I mean, it was fabulous when I was doing it. I'm sorry you missed it. Okay, so, and now I'm going to build my coordinate plane. Okay, and my x-intercept here is going to be -2, 0. My y-intercept 0, -5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so my line will look like this. Okay, so that is the first part of this. Now, moving along, we have, of course, as we did with slope-intercept form, we have those lovely horizontal and vertical lines. So we're going to look at those, and you're going to see how easy it is to develop the equation, the standard equation for a horizontal or a vertical line. So let's look first at a vertical line. Okay, here is a lovely vertical line. Okay. Now, I can pick any point along here. Let's pick this point, maybe this point. Let's go with that point because it's easy. Okay, so this point is 1, 2, 3, 4, 0. This point is 4, 1. This point is 4, -2. This point is 4, 2, 3, 4, 5, -5. And if you look at all those points, I think that you can see that they all have something in common. I'll just pause for a second. Maybe I'll think about what's going on outside. Maybe I'll just, I don't know, talk to this guy. Maybe he'll have the answer. I'm not sure. Oh my goodness! Look! Look! X is 4! In each of these cases, X is 4! That's right, little purple guy, whoever you are. In each case, X equals 4. Oh my gosh, that means that my equation of the line is X equals 4. And that's it. That's all it is. Okay? So, this is the equation of a vertical line at 4, at X equals 4. It's just a vertical line. What about the horizontal line, you say? Well, let us draw one of those. Let us pick some points along it. Okay, here's my horizontal line. Okay, and let's pick this point and this point and this point and this point. Okay, so this point, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 0, 5. This is 2, 5. This is 1, 2, -3, 5. And this is -5, 5. Let's bring little purple guy in again. Hello again, everybody. Okay, what do I see here? 5, 0, 5, -5, 5, 5. Ah, look, they are all y equals 5. Yes, little purple guy, they are all y equals 5. So, my equation is y equals 5. And that's this line, and then this is this line. So, if you have a vertical line, it is just quite simply x equals wherever that vertical line is. If you have a horizontal line, it is simply y equals wherever the horizontal line is. Okay, so easy peasy. The last thing that we are going to do is we are going to transform this equation, standard equation, into slope-intercept form and back again. Okay, so let's first go into standard form. So let's take y equals -2/5 x plus 1. Okay? Say now I want to turn this into standard form, which means that the x needs to be over on this side. So I need to add the 2/5 x to both sides. This is going to give me 2/5 x plus y equals 1. Now we're remembering our rule that everything must be in integer form. I've got a fraction here, which is a rational number, not an integer. So in order to get rid of it, I have to multiply everything times the denominator of 5. So what this does is it gives me 2x plus 5y equals 5. I've got to multiply that 5 times everything in there. Okay? If we are to look at another problem, first I will find another problem, and that problem will be y equals 2x plus 5. Okay, a little simpler. I'm just going to move the 2x. This gives me -2x plus y equals 5, and I am actually done at this point. Okay, going the other way, where you are taking the standard form and making it into slope-intercept form, is also really pretty easy. So let's look at one of our equations, maybe that we were working with before. Let's go ahead and take 4x. Let me move this up a little bit. 4x minus 9y equals negative 12, okay? Now in this case, I've got to move the 4 back over here, so I'm going to subtract the 4x from both sides. This will give me negative 9y equals negative 4x minus 12. Then I'm going to have to divide everything by negative 9, okay, because I need to get my y alone. And this comes out to 4/9 x plus 12 over 9, we've reduced that before, 4 over 3. Now, if you recognize the fact that when we did the y-intercept before, we actually did end up with a y-intercept of 4 over 3. Okay, so doing one more, 5x plus 2y equals negative 10. Subtracting the 5x from both sides, leaving us with 2y equals negative 5x minus 10, and then dividing everything by 2, and so we end up with y equals negative 5 over 2x minus 5. And hopefully you can recognize the fact that we did have minus 5 as a y-intercept before. So that's it. I hope that you enjoyed it. Here's our little guy to say goodbye, and have a nice evening.